share my screen so all of you can see as well. Okay, so the recording has begun. And I hope you can see this screen. If you're not able to see the screen, then of course you let us know, otherwise it's fine. So there's one person joining in the queue. Okay, so regarding the visa process, we have created a Google Drive folder for all the students coming from South Asia, wherein you would have access to all the important documents and guides related to a visa process. As you already know, when you were in the aspirants group, we shared the KEDGE application guide. Now, this is the time that we share all other important documents and checklists with you. So we have three folders, as you can see: pre-admission, post-admission, and post-arrival. And these three pretty much classify the kind of students that we have at the moment, or we will have until August. Then there's one more folder, which is webinars, and webinars is the one that you already have access to. So there's no point discussing this. But pre-admission, post-admission, and post-arrival are three very important folders we have created for you. You're going to have access to all of this. We are going to share this in the group, and obviously, you would be able to download these documents, check these documents, share these documents with anyone who is interested or who is not in this session today. So let's start with pre-admission. So pre-admission means when you're applying to KEDGE, the only three documents which are recommended for you would be the application guide, wherein you can check how to apply to KEDGE. It's a step-by-step guide. The second document would be KEDGE brochures. So there are 22 programs completely taught in English. So this is the brochure for everyone. And then, of course, you have a PDF which helps you in preparing for an interview. These are not mandatory documents prepared by KEDGE. These are only supplementary documents which are shared from time to time with students. So don't think that, oh, I was not shared KEDGE interview document. This is why my interview was not good. No, KEDGE does not even prepare this document. No school prepares interview document for any student across the globe. Nobody does that. Of course, they have it on their website sometimes, how to prepare for interview. You should have a battery backup. You should have a good internet connection. But this is something that I have prepared for some students who face certain challenges. So don't think if this was not sent to you that this is a very important document that you missed on. Then we have post admission. Post admission, as you can see, the documents are Campus France, Campus France, Campus France. These are three different documents. I'm going to explain everything in details. This is for India, this is for Pakistan. Then you have a checklist. Checklist is a document which is prepared by our students who go abroad every year. And what are the documents you need to carry? What are the things that you need to carry? They prepare it. For example, which flight to take, where to live, blah, blah, blah. And these are the Excel which is prepared by them, not by KEDGE. So this is a student-friendly document. You will be having access to this as well. Then, of course, there is CVEC. Some of you already know what is CVEC. Some of you don't know what is CVEC. So CVE is essentially a document which everybody needs to have in France. And this is basically a student contribution fee to every campus, and it's mandatory by government of France. So you can just go through it in details. It's around 92 euros or something which you pay every year to government of France, and then you get multiple benefits as a student. And this is mandatory. This is not mandatory right now, but this is mandatory once you join the campus. Then there is again a consolidated list of France visa procedure. There is a document for housing links. You have already received the housing webinar recording. This is a housing links wherein we have certain um, platforms where our students apply year on year. What does Guarant Me? How to apply for cruise? There is a student webinar recorded as well. Of course, you already have access to it. I'm saying because our housing team already conducted the webinar and imparted all the information. Yet we have another document, so you would be able to use it. Then we have a KEDGE housing form. This is not for you. This is something that I would remove. Then there is list of additional documents which are required for registration purposes like CVEC, CPAM, VASAL, travel insurance, health insurance, housing insurance. Yesterday, somebody asked in the group, is there KEDGE housing insurance partner? So this is the one, ADH. This is the link. Then guarantor services, financial services. Again, this is a good to have document, not a mandatory document. Then KEDGE payment terms. How do you pay your tuition fee? What is the refund policy? What is the deposit? Blah, blah, blah. This is already on the KEDGE website. If you simply Google KEDGE payment terms, you would be able to find it. Similarly, if you simply Google KEDGE Administrative Registration Guide, you'll be able to find it. Then student ambassadors list. There are certain students who have already been working with us as our ambassadors. So this list includes both alumni and candidates who are right now at KEDGE, and they are willing to extend their help for international students to study abroad. So some of you already have it. Although this is already in both the groups, so technically all of you have it. It's in the aspirants group and the admits group. You just need to go to the documents section. Then there is a VFS checklist, documents which are required for VFS. VFS is the final stage for documents for people who are applying for passports, sorry, visa in India. And then there is a Visal tutorial. How do you take the Visal guarantee and everything? So with this folder, you have pre-admission, post-admission, and post-arrival. Post-arrival has only one document, which is OFI residence permit. OFI residence permit is something which is known as a residence permit. Everybody needs to have it when they land in France, and we will cover that later, but that is not important at this stage. So, what is important at this stage is basically this, wherein I would be talking about Campus France and visa process, both for Indian and Pakistani students. I'm not sure we have any other nationality in this webinar today. If you are from a country which is not in India and Pakistan, please raise your hand and we will cover that as well. Today, we are going to largely talk about India and Pakistan visa process. All right, so let's begin with what is the Campus France visa process. This is how Campus France visa process looks like. So this is a PDF. Again, this is not a PDF which has come out of nowhere. It's already in the folder. This is known as this one, Campus France, France visa process. If you click on this one, you would find the same details. But I'm just still going to show you separately. So, the number one thing that all of you need to do is basically Campus France and VFS. Visa process for Indians and Pakistani students is very simple. Um, all of you who have received KEDGE acceptance, you need to apply for Campus France. That is the first thing you need to do. And you need to do it as soon as you have received the KEDGE visa letter, not the offer letter. I'm talking about visa letter. There are two kinds of letters. Offer letter is something you receive once you receive admission. But after admission, you pay the deposit, you sign the contract, you complete the online registration, then you receive the visa letter. So then you should receive your visa letter. Only then, please go ahead and complete your Campus France process. Now, how does it look like? I'll explain the step-by-step process as well, but let me just summarize at the moment. So number one is online registration. You don't need to go to Campus France. Okay, so don't take a cab and go to Campus France office and tell them, look, I'm here. Simply apply online. This is the link. Some of you already have it. Those who do not have it, this is the link. If you still, not able to find this, simply Google Campus France and name your country. Abhijay, you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, sir. So, like as you mentioned, I have like done the whole process of admission letter, then paying the fee, but I have not received the like the visa letter that you're talking about.
Yeah, it takes 10 working days. I'm not sure if you did it before 10 working days or you did it
Yeah.
recently.
It's been more than 10 days.
Yeah, so did you complete your registration? Did you upload the photo? Did you sign the contract? Did you sign the image rights?
I signed the contract. That's what I remember. Other than that,
Okay, there
yeah,
are two
I
documents that
the
you need to
photo
sign.
as
One
well.
is contract, one is image rights, and you need to pay the deposit. There are four things that you need to do. If you have
Yeah,
done everything, you would have
deposit is
received it.
already paid. I am not sure about the image rights contract.
I had already shared the guide with everyone. This is the guide, and this is already in the group. So if you see, step one is fill the form, step two is complete application, step three is choose payment terms, step four is submit, four is summary, step five is validate, step six is pay your deposit, step seven is signing your contract and image rights. So I believe you have not done image rights because you are saying that you're not aware if you signed it. So this is what is
Mhm.
pending for you. Now, how does it look like? It looks like this. You would receive two emails. It says sign your contract and image rights. So you sign the contract, but you ignore the other email that came from KEDGE regarding your image rights. So my recommendation, and it's very simple. You don't need to print and sign, just go on DocuSign and sign. So please
Right,
go
right.
back to your email box, do the signature, and then email welcome team that you have completed it. And then you receive your visa letter in 72 hours. If you still are not able to find basically this image right, then simply email welcome@KEDGE and mention that you have already completed it, but you have not received the image rights. It's impossible that no anybody does not receive it, but if you are not able to find it anywhere on your email, simply drop an email to welcome@KEDGEBS.com.
Got it. Thanks, sir.
All right, so the first step is create this account. Second step is fill the campus transform. How to fill, we will talk about that as well. Number three is once you have completed the online form, you will receive unique Campus France registration number. It starts with IN for Indian students. Then number four, once you have submitted your file, Campus France will verify it, validate it. It can take 1 day, 2 day, sometimes 3 months as well. And this is why we recommend every student to apply for visa as soon as they have received the admit. If you have received your admission in September, you should have applied for Campus France in September. Of course, VFS cannot be applied in the month of September. It has to be applied 90 days prior. But Campus France, whenever you receive your admission, we largely recommend students to apply by March, because even if you apply by March, you have March, April, May, 3 months, and the maximum time it can take is 3 months. So if you have not completed your Campus France process, please complete it today. Then there would be a Campus France fees of roughly around 18,000 rupees. This is waived off for students who have received Charpak scholarship or Eiffel scholarship. Last year, there was a girl from Pune who went to KEDGE, Khushi Mehta. She received the Charpak scholarship and she did not have to pay this. But again, it depends. If you have not received any scholarship from Campus France, then of course 18,000 rupees needs to be paid. Once the payment has been processed, your Campus France manager will schedule the academic interview with you. It could be online, offline. Largely, it's offline these days. And then there would be interview. They would ask you questions, very basic questions. I think some of you have already shared your experiences and kinds of questions which are asked during the interview. And then, of course, your step one is complete, right? Now, what are the documents that you need to carry for step one? 12th mark sheet, passing certificate, bachelor's degree, and mark sheets. If you don't have bachelor's degree, for suppose you're studying right now, then you need to carry the bona fide that you applied with for KEDGE. Master's degree and mark sheet or bona fide if you have it. Work experience letters or internship documents if you have it. Passport for sure, and acceptance letter from KEDGE. These are the documents that you need to carry to Campus France. No flight ticket, no housing, no bank documents. Only this needs to be carried for Campus France process. Now, there's one more thing. Today is 25th of April. On 29th of April, you have Campus France official visa webinar by Campus France team. So Campus France team, this is a KEDGE webinar done by KEDGE, but that is a Campus France webinar done for all international students who are going to France this year. So our recommendation would be that you join Campus France webinar as well. We have shared the link and details in the groups already, both in the aspirants and admins group. And there would not be any reminder for it because we are not conducting it. So just save the date, save the time, and make sure you join the webinar because we record all the sessions. Campus France is not going to record all the sessions. So for example, right now we have 155 students with offer letter in the group. But right now in this webinar, there are only 25, right? So out of 155, almost 120 students are not here today, but they would still have access to it because we are recording the session. But on 29th, if you are not joining that session, you would not be able to access anything after that because it's a Campus France French embassy thing, and French embassy would not record it for you. So I'm uh, just suggesting you, if you want to attend this session, it's not mandatory to attend the session, but if you really want to get more information from official source, which is French embassy, go ahead and do that. If you have time, go ahead and do that. Okay, so step two is complete. Yes, Ria.
Hi, Prayag. So I
Hi.
had a small question regarding the work experience letters. So for some company, like one company, for example, has kind of shut shop. So I don't have like a hard letter. I have like a soft copy. So is it okay if I take like a color printout of that, and would that be enough?
Yes.
It's been validated by Campus France, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
the
That's
copy.
fine.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so now your step two is complete. Now, after this, they will send you an email And it can again take any time. It can take 1 day, 1 week, a month, and that email would be finally your NOC, no objection certificate. Some students think that there is no NOC, something there is an NOC. Just to let you know, I think 4 or 5 years back they used to send a PDF which was called no objection certificate. Now they don't send the PDF; they only send an email for past 4 or 5 years. But that email is your no objection email. That's NOC. So once you receive that email, and that email would simply say, "Oh, congratulations, you have completed your process. Now please apply for visa process." That means your Campus France is done. The next thing that you need to do is VFS. Okay. Now, step three is VFS. VFS is very simple. All you need to do is basically go on this form, francevisas.gov.fr, fill the form, take appointment, and apply for biometrics. Last year, what we did, and this year again, we are going to do. Right now, we are in April. 1st of June, visa applications would open. When I say visa, I mean VFS applications would open. Every year we do a dummy application for one student. So whoever that student is, we don't know. Anybody can nominate themselves. For example, say Ria nominates herself. So on 1st or 2nd of June, she would create her account on VFS. But of course, for that you need to complete your Campus France process, and we would fill the form for her. As in, she would be filling the form, and we would be sharing the screen together, and everybody would be um, looking at each and every step how to fill the form. We already have a webinar, we already have a recorded video on YouTube. I'm going to show it to you as well. But again, every year we do it live, and it's not something which is mandatory. It's optional and it's voluntary. So any student who would like to share their visa form, it's not a confidential information anyway because it doesn't require your bank funds or anything. It's just a basic form. So we would do it in June. So that's all. These are the three steps that you need to follow. Now let's do one thing. Let's close this one and let's go to other document, which is this one, Campus France. Now, you saw three steps. Step one was Campus France, step two was Campus France documents, and step three was VFS. Now, let's see every step in detail. Okay, now this is the Campus France document, by the way. This is not our document. So it says I got my admission letter. I complete and submit my online form. I prepare my documents. I validate the online form. Interview done, payment done. I deposit my documents to VFS. Then there is an officer who decides on visa. That's it. This is the only step-by-step process. Let's summarize again. First stage, you're a student. Second stage, once you have completed your deposit, you're a student. Third stage is your Campus France, when you apply for Campus France. Fourth step is your interview student with Campus France. Fifth step is document submission and biometrics at VFS. And sixth step is basically your decision making at embassy. That's all. This is the entire process. There is no other process in between, right? So you don't have to go anywhere. The only two places where you would ever go before going to France would be number one, Campus France, and number two, VFS. That's all. Now, let's look at step-by-step guide. There would be students who would have completed their Campus France process. Please enjoy this session. But people who have not completed their Campus France process, please pay attention. So once you click on the link, which was in step one, this is how the screen looks like. You need to click on login. Again, some features might be different because this is a Campus France guide which was prepared 2 years back. So I don't know if there are one or two new features on their website, but largely the process is like this. You log in, then it will ask you to fill the basic form, email ID, blah, 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 surname, full name, gender, date of birth, country of nationality, passport expiry details. You would already know this, right? So it's very simple. Then you would create your account. Then it will send you an email, a verification email. Click on the link to activate it. Then simply log in with your email ID and password. So far, very, very easy. Number four, click on login to Campus France online application. And then this is how the login window would look like. You would enter your email, your password, and you would log in, right? Now, the moment you log in, there are three, four things that you need to know. First thing on the right hand side is your IN number. This is your Campus France number, which is required at multiple stages. Sometimes it's required for Campus France process. Sometimes it would be asked in the VFS form. Sometimes it would be asked for your insurance. So always remember IN number for you. I'm talking about Indian students. For Pakistan students, I think it would be PK or something. But this is your Campus France number, IN blah blah blah. Then whatever mails Campus France send to you, they would be seen here. They of course can email you directly on your email ID, but here you can also check on mailbox. Read everything in detail. Please do not skip it. Then move forward. Click on admitted candidate because you have been admitted. And as I said, do not apply for Campus France until you have received your visa letter from KEDGE. So click on accepted, admitted. Then there are two options, exchange or full time. Please do not click on exchange. You're not going there for one semester. There are certain students who go for 1+1 program. For example, we have students from IIM Amritsar who are going for 1+1. We have students from IIM Bangalore in the group who are going for 1+1. But even that is not an exchange. So please do not click on exchange. Exchange is always, always, always one semester. It's not a degree seeking program. So whether you're going for a 1+1 or a 2+2 or a full-time program, M1, M2, whatever it is, if I'll make it very simple for you. If you are in KEDGE admits group on WhatsApp, please click on full-time program. Do not click on exchange. Okay. Now, next step would be if you click on full-time, it would ask you certain details, other internship, French language semester, entrance exam, doctorate degree program. It's very simple. You select degree program. Then it will ask you search program and catalog. So you need to click on search program and catalog, and then you just need to enter the name of your program or some keywords. For example, simply the way you search on Google. For example, if you're looking for what is the best food in or what is the best restaurant in Paris, you don't really write what is the best restaurant in Paris. You simply write best restaurant Paris, keywords. Similarly, you can write, for example, let's say if Ria is going for international business at KEDGE in Bordeaux campus. So she can simply write international business, KEDGE, Bordeaux, keywords, and then click on search. It will show you all the programs. Luckily, Campus France prepared the guide with KEDGE name, so we are lucky here. For example, if you look for KEDGE Sports, it will show you all the programs, year one, year two, whatever it is. Then you need to select your program. For example, there are so many programs, KEDGE Sports Marketing, KEDGE Masters in Management, KEDGE MSc Marketing. So it depends on the student, whichever program they are going for. If they're going for year one, select year one. If you're going for year two, select year two. Then it will show you campus, select the campus, and then choose program. Moving forward, it will ask you choose the school, name, mention the name of the school, program date. Now, most of you would have your program date mentioned in your visa letter. Sometimes students ask me, what is my course start date? That means either they have not received visa letter or they have not seen their visa letter. So please check your visa letter. On your visa letter, your date is always, always, always mentioned. Okay. So, for example, on your visa letter, it would be mentioned your program starts on 20th of September. So please arrive by 20th of September. So you just need to write 20th of September 2025. End date, it depends on the course. If you're going for M1, which is first year, of course it would be 12 months because after 12 months you'll be starting your M2. So whatever is the date after 12 months, from this date, just enter that date. Okay. And then for students who are going for M2, your program is usually end of December following year. So whoever is going for December intake, sorry, M2, whether it starts in September, October, whenever the date is, it doesn't really matter. In the end date, it would always be 31st of December for the following year. I'm not sure if somebody has already completed the form and they wrote only 12 months, that's fine. If Campus France noticed it or not, doesn't really change a lot. But if you have not done the process, please enter end of December only for M2. For M1, it would only be 12 months. Then enter reasons of your choice. This is the most important part. This is something they will ask you at interview as well. So it should be similar. And always write things which you can remember. Don't use Chat GPT. Don't use AI. Don't use Google search. Write your own reasons. Even if it's only two reasons or three reasons, just write, I am going to KEDGE business school for this reason, this reason, this reason. So you remember those reasons as well during interview. For example, right now, if you mention something else and during interview you're mentioning something else, they will give you an NOC for sure, but they will not give you the visa. I saw some students were asking in the group, does everyone get NOC? The answer is yes. But there's another question. Does everybody get a positive NOC? You would not know. Does everybody get visa? The answer is no. And let me tell you, 90% of the visa decisions are made at Campus France, right? VFS is largely going to check your any criminal record, your bank documents are fake or not, any document which is submitted after this. For example, your housing is okay or not, your funds are okay or not, your flight is okay or not. All of that is checked by VFS. But your reasons, your motivation, your background, your education is checked by Campus France. So even if, let's say, there are 24 students right now, all of you receive NOC, but that does not mean all of you would receive visa as well. It depends largely, number one, on your documentation. Most of the visas are rejected because of improper documentation. Somebody was told something and they applied with something else. That's the reason number one. That's a very understandable reason. But second reason, which is not understandable and not common for students to understand, is motivation. And by the way, when they reject your visa, there are three reasons in the visa rejection letter. You can simply find it on Google as well. Simply write KEDGE, not KEDGE, sorry. Simply write France visa rejection letter, and there would be many samples on images, and you can check. They usually write lack of motivation. Now, how do you check lack of motivation? You can say, oh, I received NOC. NOC does not mean you are highly motivated to study abroad. NOC only means, yes, you attended, you paid the fees, and your documents were okay. That's all. So my recommendation to all of you would be, please make sure that these reasons and your interview is wonderful in terms of motivation, and you are very honest and very straightforward. So this is the most important part. Then choose institution, mention the date, reasons, blah, blah, blah. Finally, they would ask you to upload certain documents, acceptance letter, details are here, PDF, JPEG, PNG, not exceeding 300 KB. Mostly the documents would be under 300 KB. If they are not, simply go on Google, choose any window tool and change the size and upload. Okay. Moving forward. Now, once you have done everything, it will show you complete. Now, if full-time program education is complete, next step is personal information. Now, what do you fill in personal information? Again, there are three options, three things that you need to fill: personal, educational, and language. So this is how personal would look like. You need to upload your passport size photo. Some people mentioned in the group they are not able to update their photo. Even if they uploaded their photo, it was rejected. Please always scan the photo. Now, school is different, embassy is different. I have seen, I don't know if I have it. If I have it, probably I can show it to you. Let me see if I actually have it or not. Yeah, I'm not actually showing you the name of the person, but this is how somebody uploaded their mark sheet. Now there's a beautiful bed sheet you can see, right? And on that bed sheet, somebody kept their, class 10th mark sheet and took a picture and uploaded on KEDGE website, right? I obviously rejected it, and obviously it would be rejected further as well. But my point is, don't do such things at the embassy level. Number one, you're going for higher education, and that too abroad. You're not going to, a kindergarten. 90% of you are master's students, right? So if you're going for masters, that too abroad, make sure your application is impeccable. If a scan, you should understand what a scan document means. It cannot be a photo, right? It has to be a scan document. Even if you don't go to a cyber cafe, you can scan your documents very easily these days with an app like Cam Scanner or something on your phone. On iPhones, you don't even need to use that. Simply with the help of your camera on iNotes, you can actually scan your document. So please scan your documents properly. Similarly, for photo, it's written 300 dpi, 26 multiplied by 32 size should not be 50 KB. It should be JPEG and PNG only. Even if you have a passport size photo and you're not able to edit it, simply go on Canva, upload your photo, and then you would be able to update the settings. Just give me 1 second. All right, perfect. So let's move ahead. So upload your photo, then contact information. It says enter modified data. So your complete postal address, state, city, PIN code. This is all very basic stuff. Then grant scholarship. Now, this is something which you only need to update if you have received any non-KEDGE scholarship. Most of the students, they fill KEDGE scholarships as well as grant or scholarship. Of course, you can do that. There is no problem. If you have already done that, there is no problem. But my recommendation would be that you usually update only grant and scholarships which are given by government of France, right? Because this is a French embassy platform. So this is not a school scholarship. This is largely related to Campus France scholarship. So if you have received IFL or Cherpak, select it, highlight it, mention it. If you have not received it, there is no need to mention KED scholarships. Can I request everybody to be on mute, please?
हाँ ले लिया मजे और लेनी है क्योंकि अब बात सीरियस है थोड़ी
Parag, can I request you to be on mute? All right, the next step is educational information. So personal is complete. Now let's go to educational. This is how it looks like. So in your academic records, you need to update your CV. CV should be any format. It's completely up to you. I have already sent you some formats which are accepted in Europe. If you don't have it, we'll share it again in the group. The details are here. It should be PDF, PNG, JPEG, maximum 300 KB. Then add your CV, select from browse and then update your CV. Then next document is academic records. After CV, you can select other documents as well, your higher education degree, university degree, 10 plus 2, blah, blah, blah. 10 plus 2, fill the academic year, country, state, city, institution. It will show in drop down. If it doesn't show you in the drop down, don't panic. Simply select other and write the name here. Marks, percentage, class, additional information you wish to provide. So please enter every information related to your high school, class 12th, and your graduation. Yes, Amarnath.
Sir, I'm trying to upload my mark lists on the mark list section, but the level that it shows of the mark list or whatever is BARC plus one. So I'm able to like when I want to upload my 12th standard mark list, what do I upload? What do I give as the equivalent level?
No, it's already mentioned here, no? 10 plus 2.
Oh, for me, it's not actually showing that way.
Okay, so it has to be 10 plus 2. Back plus 1 means class 11th. Back is, no, no, sorry. Back is basically class 12th. Back plus 1 would mean 12th plus 1. Back plus 3 would mean 12 plus 3 years. And back plus 4 would mean an engineering degree or something like that, which is a 4-year degree. So look for 10 plus 2. If you're not able to find 10 plus 2, check with others who have already completed their process. If you still find no information, just join the 29th webinar. If you're still not able to do that, take a screenshot and contact your nearest Campus France.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Then finally, update all your documents. So your 10 plus 2 document should be uploaded. And then your CV should be uploaded. Then any other entrance examinations, GMAT, GRE, IELTS, TOEFL, if you have done that, it's fine. If you haven't done that, it's okay. And then finally, go to the final section, which is language proficiency. Now, in language proficiency, it will ask you for French language test certificate. Again, it's not mandatory, so you don't need to upload anything. Then it will ask you to upload English language proficiency. In this, you can upload your high school document if and only if you do not have any English test. You can also upload your MOI, but MOI is largely not accepted by Campus France. It is accepted by the university. So my recommendation would be that you either upload your English test, which is from IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo, or you upload your 10 plus 2 mark sheet, which says that you studied English as a subject. That's all. Then the medium of instruction, everything is very simple, plain English. If you studied in English or if you studied in French, save it. Finally, it will show you all green sections of personal information, educational information, and language proficiency. All the three things are shown in green and completed, which means you have completed your entire Campus France application. As I can scroll below, this is the final step you would receive 3 different emails on your personal email ID, which will show you your file has been validated, your file is processing the fees, and finally schedule an appointment. You may not receive all 3 emails on the same day, so don't panic. As I said, once you complete the entire process, all 3 things should be green. They will check your Campus France file. Sometimes your file would be okay and they would say everything is fine. Now we are going to ask you to pay the fees. Most of the times, your file would be incomplete. So, in that case, you need to make certain changes. There's one more thing that I'd like to add here. Most of the times, they would ask you to basically update your CV. Some students they use a very, very basic CV. Let me show you an example of a recent CV. Yeah, this is not how a CV should look like. Again, I'm sorry, Mohammed, but this is not how a CV should look like, right? If you're applying for master's program abroad. So make sure your CV is professional, your CV has all the details, and secondly, your CV should not have any gaps. For example, if you're working until June 2025, June 2024, and then you took a gap of 3 months, and after that you started your job. So why did you have a gap of 3 months? You need to write that either in your CV, or because it is not your job CV, right? It is a CV to study abroad. So if you have a gap, please mention in a table you have a gap of 2 months, 3 months, 1 month, whatever the gap is, and explain that, right? Or you can also write a gap cover letter. I've already shared some samples with you. It's on this website. Let me show you just a sec. So you go here. I shared this with you, documents pro bono. Now, there is this gap letter for visa. You simply download it, and this is how it looks like. So, dear Campus France, blah, 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 you simply copy, paste, and everything, and just explain the gap duration and reasons. For example, Jan to June 2022, I was enrolled in an online course on edX to learn more about accounting as I was weak in this area and wanted to master the subject before applying for a job. Then, second gap, then third gap. So, however, you want to explain again, you don't have to exactly copy the reasons, or I just mean that you need to copy the format, not the reasons. Your reasons could be separate. Your reasons could be different. So whatever your reasons are, just mention everything in the gap explanation letter and then upload your documents. Okay. So this is how Campus France will validate your file. Then they would process the fees and then they would finally schedule the appointment. Once everything is done, it will show you application verified by Campus France, right? And they would send you an email for appointment. It could you can also check that here in the mailbox, or you can also check that on your personal email. And then, of course, you can print this and go on the day of appointment with documents which were shown in point 2, section 2. I already showed you which was section 2, this one. All the documents here: 12th mark sheet, bachelor's degree, master's degree, work ex passport, and acceptance letter. So that's all. This is the process for Indian students. Step 1, I repeat, Campus France. Step 2, Campus France interview. And step 3, VFS France. As I said, there is already a recorded webinar on YouTube, how to fill the VFS form. We would also do a live hand holding session for VFS form, how to fill each and every step. But you don't need to worry right now because you cannot even fill that form before 1st of June, 90 days prior. So please don't worry about VFS form. The only thing that you need to worry about is the first part of your visa process, that is the Campus France process. Now, before I answer your questions, let me quickly show you the Pakistan guide as well. So this is how Pakistan guide looks like. It's very simple again. You need to click on register now. This is the link. Then simply create an account, fill the form. Then you would be able to register very similarly to Indian process: personal information, educational skills, and language skills. Same 3 things which are there in India process. There would be a online way to pay the fees, and this is for Campus France fees. And then finally, right, 2000 in 2023 it was 25,000 Pakistani rupees, but again check with your Campus France office what is the fees right now. And then you would be able to complete everything entirely online the same way I showed you just now. So Indian process and Pakistani process is absolutely same. It's just that the websites are different, the payment methods are different. Otherwise, everything else is same. You would be finding your form, entering your course, name, school, enter your information, pay the deposit and everything. And in India, you actually apply for VFS after your campus runs. In Pakistan, you apply for AEG. Okay. So VFS is the company that processes French visas in India, and AEG is the company that processes your visas for France in Pakistan. Then you would be, after campus runs, you'll be applying for AEG, and the entire assistance would be provided by the Campus France Pakistan. So you need to contact Campus France Islamabad and they would be helping you with that. Okay, so these are the two things that you need to remember. And don't worry, it's a very, very simple process. There's no rocket science. Everybody, even if we don't do this session, even if you don't take any professional help, there would always be people to help you. You can take help from fellow students as well. We do these sessions just to ensure that you do not make mistakes. And because sometimes what people would do is they would go to a consultant here and there and they would get some false information, or maybe they would speak to an alumni or a senior student who maybe have forgotten the process, and they might give you some information which is not updated because every year information changes, right? So please don't rely on information from unofficial sources. That's number one. And number two, please don't rely on information coming from Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, which are unofficial sources, or people who have already graduated. You can take their guidance, but do not take the official information. So, who should you believe? You should believe number one, French Embassy. And this is precisely why we have asked you to follow Campus France on social media, on LinkedIn, Twitter, Campus France on Instagram, because they organize webinars all the time. 29th, they have a webinar, you should know. So please join that. So first source of official information is Campus France. Second source is the university. There is no ranking here. These are two different sources. So everything which is said by the school, you should believe that. For example, if KEDGE is saying book an accommodation here, just book the accommodation there. Don't go on booking.com or Western Union because there might be fraud. If you book, there have been cases for housing accommodation in France where people go on Facebook, look up, see a beautiful picture, and then they pay the guy 500 euros, and next day the guy switches off his phone and the guy is gone. Then you can't do anything. You can't complain to embassy, you can't complain to school because you actually got this information from Facebook or Instagram or an unofficial source. So our recommendation is always rely on information which is coming from the embassy, number one. Number two, coming from the university itself. Right now, some students would be applying with agents, some students would be applying with consultants. It's absolutely up to you if you want to believe that information or not. There are some good agents which who would actually provide you crystal clear information, but we would largely recommend official sources only. Okay, so this was Campus France Pakistan guide, this is India guide, and this is the common process for everyone. Campus France and VFS, I am going to share this link with all of you for pre-arrival, post-arrival, and post-admission process with every student. Right now, finally, before we wrap up, let me quickly show you VFS checklist. Okay, although this is going to be required in June, but just to show you what documents would be required for VFS, I remind you again, these are not the documents which are required for Campus France. These are the documents required for VFS/AEG in the month of June, right? There's one more thing. For all the students who are from Pakistan, you need to complete your visa process, which is Campus France process, by May 25. After that, you may not be able to complete your Campus France process. Okay, so my recommendation to all the Pakistani students is 25th of May. Make sure you have already applied to Campus France in Pakistan. For Indian students, you can apply for Campus France even in the month of June, July, and August. But I'm not sure if you would be getting the visa if you apply for Campus France in June, July, and August. So again, our recommendation would be end of May. Okay. So for Pakistani students, it's a final verdict. Please do not apply after May 25th. But for Indian students, it's recommended that you apply before May 30th. Now let's look at the VFS checklist very quickly. First document which is required for VFS is your application form, which you would be filling, and we would do a live session in the first week of June. Number two would be your travel document, which is your passport. It should have minimum 3 months of validity before the expiry, which means, and you would be getting a 12 months visa. So you can add 3 more months, so 15 months. So by the time you're applying for your student visa, your passport should have at least 15 months of validity. Number three, France visa receipt. This is something when you pay the VFS fees, they would give you a receipt, not the campus runs, the VFS receipt. They would give you a receipt, and you would be carrying that. Number four, ID photograph. We will talk about it in June. It's a very simple photograph. You can click at any photographer in your town. Number five, if you're living abroad, for example, you are a Nepali student living in India, you need a residence permit. Otherwise, if you're living in your own country, you don't need any residence permit. Now, second set of document would be your EEF document, which is basically your Campus France document. Campus France, once you complete your document, they give you a document which says you have completed your Campus France process. It can be printed online. So you go to your Campus France portal, just look for your EEF Etude de France certificate and just simply download it. Next set of document would be your accommodation, the most important part, right? We would discuss in future because this is not the final session of VFS webinar or Campus France webinar. This is the first visa webinar. Every year we do around 5, 6 visa webinars. So this is the first visa webinar we are doing at the moment, but we would do more and we would see what are the potential reasons why visas are rejected. Number one, financial reasons. Number two, accommodation reasons. Number three, lack of motivation in any order and form. Okay, so accommodation should be crystal clear. You need to have a contract signed with your landlord and payment receipts, and then you need to apply for your Campus France, VFS process. Now, you would have seen people who have already received KEDGE visa letter. There is another document which is in the same document, the second page, I guess, which is housing letter. It says KEDGE will take care of your housing. Yeah. Do not apply for housing with, do not apply for visa with that only. You need official accommodation in France. And the way it works is, let's say any student, let's say Amarnath is going to France. Amarnath has booked an accommodation in Paris for XYZ property. Now he needs to have number one, XYZ property contract. Number two, XYZ payment receipt. And number three, he needs to email KEDGE housing team. They will give him a housing certificate with XYZ property address. If he has these three documents, his visa chances are higher compared to anybody else. Okay. Then proof of funds. If you're going to Paris, 1,000 euros multiplied by 12. If you're going to non-Paris cities, then 615 euros multiplied by 12. Why 12? Because your visa would only be for 12 months. What about next month? You would be renewing it in France. Okay. This needs to be in your bank statement. It could be your bank statement, your parents' bank statement. It could be a fixed deposit. It could also be any form of liquid assets, but it cannot be in stocks, share markets, mutual funds. Okay. Finally, NOC. NOC is the email that you receive from Campus France. Just print out that email. These are the documents, and then extra documents which are required. A cover letter. Everybody needs to write a cover letter. How to write a cover letter? It's already here. I've already shared the link. Cover letter for Campus France, cover letter for VFS. What does cover letter mean? A cover letter means that you need to write a cover letter explaining your motivation to study in France. Why do you want to study in France? What would you do once you graduate? How are you going to fund your education? What are the sources? Everything right in cover letter. Number one. Number two, sponsor cover letter. If your parents are sponsoring your tuition or if your company is sponsoring your tuition, you need to write a sponsor cover letter. For example, again, you would have a format here. Where is it? This is the one, sponsor cover letter. This says, this is to state that I am the father or mother of so and so person. Cost of living is this, cost of tuition is this, and I am funding my son or daughter for this much of amount. Funds, bank statement, ITR is attached. All of this is here, and this is how the letter looks like. Okay. Just remember, income tax return is a recommended document, not a mandatory document. Okay. The only documents which are mandatory are the ones that I already informed you. Bank statement, mandatory. Apart from that, everything else is recommended, and make sure it's a stamped and attested bank statement by the bank. Okay, so even if it's online, just take a print, go to nearest branch, and they will print it for you in next 5 minutes or so, absolutely free of cost. Flight ticket recommended for every student. Every year, I inform this to every student, please book a flight ticket. It's only a single side flight ticket because you don't have to book a return ticket. Many students, what they do is they talk to one agent in I don't know what city, and they speak to one senior on Facebook or YouTube, and they will be like, "Oh, Prayag told me a flight ticket, but this guy who is more trustworthy because I know him for years told me not to book a flight ticket, so I will apply without a flight ticket." And every year we have students who get visa rejection, and then they are like, "Oh, I was told by this guy on Facebook that you should not apply with a flight ticket." It's it's common sense. If you're going to France, you have been accepted, you have already paid 3 lakhs of deposit, right? This is your tuition fee, 10, 15, 20 lakhs. You're investing around 20 to 25 lakhs in your higher education. You're doing everything what French embassy is asking. And then on flight tickets, you're not showing flights, you're showing dummy tickets, right? I agree. Sometimes Campus France will tell you you can use a dummy ticket, but always remember every Campus France office is different. There are 6 consulates of French embassy in India and 13 Campus France offices. Okay, so somebody who's following Campus France Amritsar, Chandigarh would not be having the same set of information as somebody would have in Campus France Chennai. Okay, so please always refer to what we are saying here. Make sure you have a flight ticket. Of course, you can book a refundable ticket, and it's easy and more affordable when you book it right now, right? How do you know the date? The date is already in your visa letter. If visa letter says come on 20th of April, book a flight which is at least a week prior. So let's say 15th of April, 15th of September. You book a flight right now, you'd be getting very good rates, 30 to 40,000. You can book a direct flight from Delhi to Paris or Chennai or Mumbai to Paris. And then you would also be getting very good terms and conditions. So for example, you can get a 100% refundable ticket, 50% refundable ticket, and you would be able to apply for visa. Okay. Next up, travel insurance. You can buy it online. Again, we will do a session how to buy travel insurance. You can buy it from Policy Bazaar. Policy Bazaar is not our official partner. Nobody's our official partner in India. So you can buy it from anywhere. It's absolutely easy and cheap. You go on Policy Bazaar, select travel insurance. Always remember, travel insurance and medical insurance are same things, right? So it's not that you need to buy two things. You need to only buy for 90 days, by the way, and that should be from your date of travel. So let's say if Amarnath is traveling on 5th of September, he should buy for 90 days from 5th of September on Policy Bazaar for 90 days. You can buy it for $100,000, $50,000. Minimum is 50, what we recommend. And the premium is roughly around 2 to 3,000 rupees. So travel insurance is very, very easy to get. If you're not able to buy it, if you still want to know how to buy it, we will do that session sometime in future. And then finally, visa letter by KEDGE. So these are the documents that you need to require for VFS. As I said, these are not the documents which are required right now. These are the documents which would be required in the month of June. I know a lot of students I know a lot of students would have this question later. Prayag, you shared this checklist. I don't have these documents. I'm recommending again. I am going to share this drive with you, pre-admission, post-admission, and post-arrival. But don't think every document in this checklist is required right now. Okay? Only this one, France visa process. Only these documents are required right now for your Campus France process. And all other documents would be required in the month of June. Okay? So I'm going to share this with all of you. So let me just copy this. By the way, time for Q&A. Anybody who has any questions, please post in the chat or raise your hands. So I'm just going to copy this and let me put an access to everyone so everybody has access. Anyone with the link, copy link, done. Stop sharing my screen. Okay, go in the chat. Done. I've shared in the chat. Okay, and I've also shared in the Google Drives, so you would have access to all the documents starting now. Okay, time for questions. First question is from Soham. Yes, Soham.
Hi, Brad. Good evening.
Right.
As you mentioned that we need to have the three documents. Can you repeat that once? I am asking about the housing proof.
Yeah, yeah. So if you go to this session again, go to this VFS checklist. If you can see it, see here, it says proof of accommodation in France if an accommodation is rented, lease if a free accommodation is provided, attestation of host for an accommodation,
Okay, okay,
university hall,
okay.
certificate of cruise. So all that is already mentioned here. So
Okay,
all
okay.
you
I
need to
will
do is
find from
basically,
there.
Yeah, so all you need to do is basically have a contract signed. Whenever you book a house, even if you book a house in India, you get a lease
Hmm.
from your landlord, right?
Right, right, right.
And you also get rent receipts, right?
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
all. That's all. These two documents. And as soon as you have completed this, email housing team. Hi, I have already booked my housing in so and so city. This is the name of my housing. Can you please write this on the KEDGE housing letter? And they would prepare it and send it to you. Now, with these three documents, you would be applying for visa.
Okay. And one more question is that while I am applying for VFS, so will the loan sanction letter suffice the
Yes.
requirement, or
Yes.
I will have to get the funds disbursed and show that as bank statement?
No, no, loan sanction letter is enough.
Okay, in VFS, right?
Yeah.
And after getting my visa, then I can get my funds disbursed.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yep. No worries. Next up, Sangamesh.
Yeah, hi Prag. I have a couple of questions. The
Yep.
one is regarding to the air ticket. So when it comes to air ticket, like it's totally dependent on the visa, right? So for example, my course starts on the September 17th. So what would be the best date they would give me the visa from? So from which date I'm eligible to move to France? Does it
So,
relate based on
no.
the when we apply the VFS or visa, or how
No,
it works?
they will give you visa on the basis of your flight ticket. So let's say if
Okay.
your program is starting in September, let's say September 17th, and you have booked a flight ticket of September 10th, they will largely give you the visa for September 8 or 9.
Okay. Okay. They would give for the September 1st as well, right? Because I wish to travel on September 4th. So in like will that work before like 17 days or when the course
Yeah, you
starts
can
or
also mention that you need to write. So as I said, you need to write a cover letter. So if you want to
uh,
travel on September 1st, you need to mention, please approve my visa from September 1st because I have some important work to do September 1 onwards.
okay, will that work, right? For example, if they are not cool with the reason, so which I'm providing, like for
No,
example,
no, no.
like
So,
any bank document, like the bank like opening the bank account or something, those reasons will work, or any
no, no.
suggestions there?
You can write any reason, but will it work or not? It depends on the embassy.
Okay, okay. So it's better to travel a week before. That's what your suggestion is, right? Not to
Yeah, yeah.
travel.
A week before is more than enough.
Okay, a week before is more than enough.
Yeah.
Okay then. Okay then. Then coming to the second question, that is regarding to the loan. For example, if I get a loan from a nationalized like Indian bank, so apart from that, so that satisfies for the college fees. But with respect to the this one, the day-to-day expenses, so that thing I need to like do in the show money, right? Like 650 into 12.
No, it depends on you. If your bank loan covers everything, then you don't need to show any money. You just need to show loan sanction letter and your bank statement. But
Okay.
if your loan sanction letter only covers your tuition fee, then of course you need to show money for cost of living separately.
Okay then. Thanks. These are the couple of questions.
No
Thanks.
worries. Next up, Ekta. Ekta, you have raised your hand. Any questions?
Hi, Prayag. I'm audible to you?
Yes.
Yeah, just a second. I just have one question related with the financial document as I'm uh, funding my fees by myself and my living expenses too. So, what can be the financial document is required for visa process?
Okay. So the first step would be your bank account statement. Okay.
Okay.
It's already mentioned here. If you can see in funds, it says bank statement. It should be for 3 months. And then income tax return. If you submit income tax returns every year, then last 3 years income tax
Mm.
returns. If you don't have it, as I
Okay.
said, income tax return is not a mandatory document, it's a recommended document. People who have income tax return have a higher chance of visa. People who don't have it, they have a lower chance of visa. But bank statement is mandatory. So all you need to do is basically show money in your 3 months bank statement.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
No, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? apart from Ekta. So there are some questions in the chat. First question from Nitya, who says, Hi Prayag, thank you for the session. My doubt is I'm trying to secure education loan from a non-banking financial institution. Does it impact my visa while showing proof of funds? No, Nitya, it doesn't really. As I said, Prodigy Finance is also an NBFC and they are official partners of KEDGE, and students who have gone in past to KEDGE, they have gone with Prodigy Finance as well. So NBFC is not a problem at all. All you need is basically a loan sanction letter from NBFC, your bank statement stamped. Ayushi says, my course is starting from 1st of September. Is it okay that I book the flight on 1st of September only? Will the VFS have any issues with that? No, Ayushi, there is no issue. You can book on 1st of September as well. There is no problem. It's just that if you book on 1st of September, your classes are also starting on the same day. When would you open your bank account? When would you actually do the rest of things? So my recommendation to every student is that you guys fly at least a week prior to do the bank account, to do the SIM card, to do some shopping, to know the market, to know the city, to go to college, collect your student ID, and complete everything. So when your classes start, you only focus on classes and not arrive on the same day of class. But again, it's completely individual choice. Anyone else? Any other questions related to Campus France? Okay, I don't see any questions, but if anyone needs any further information or any professional assistance from Campus France, please feel free to reach out. I think Aishi has a question. She says, if the full rent will be paid in advance, I would like to understand whether a guarantor is still required in this case. Yes, Ayushi, guarantor is always required. As the housing team also mentioned, guarantor is always required in France, and you can buy a guarantor from Stood Apart, Guarant Me on Vis or Visal. Your second question is logically, since the payment will be made in full from beginning, I believe the need for a guarantor may not apply. No, guarantor is always required because guarantor does not care about your rent. Guarantor ensures the insurance. For example, let's say you, you basically let's say you leave France hypothetically and you want to sue your property, blah blah blah, or any insurance thing happened and there is any issue, they cannot do anything to you because you can actually take a flight and come back to India next day. So who would they hold on to? They would hold on to a French guarantor, and this is why they don't require an Indian guarantor. They require a French guarantor. Stood Apart, Guarant Me, and Visal, all of them are French guarantors. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Jasmeet says, if I'm planning to live here for 6 months and I'm paying everything in advance, why do I need to pay 250 or any amount to a guarantor? You need to pay to guarantor, as I said, for the same reason which I mentioned to Ayushi, because this is a law in France. It's not a law by KEDGE, it's not a law by French embassy, it's a law overall in France. For example, in India, you pay your advance, your rent in advance. So now, of course, you can talk to the landlord and say, oh, why should I pay in advance? If I'm not running away, you can take rent after 3 months. But a rule is a rule. So it's a rule in France. And it's very easy to take guarantor and it's not very affordable. Guarant Me is cheap. Visal is absolutely free. Stood Apart is also very cheap. It's only for 3 months. You don't need to pay for 6 months, even if you live for 6 months. So that's completely your choice. Your question is, why is the booking fee non-refundable? Please clarify it will. Okay, so first of all, just meet your question is related to accommodation. This is not an accommodation webinar. This is a Campus France and visa webinar. Your accommodation question would be answered by accommodation team. But I can answer this question, why the booking fee is non-refundable. This depends on which accommodation you're booking. Okay. I'll give you my personal example. When I went to France in 2015, I went to Alotra. It's a private accommodation. Let me try to find on Google Alotra Lumini Marseille. Okay. It's a private accommodation which has a tie-up with KEDGE Business School. Yes, see, you can see it on the website as well, Student Accommodation Marseille. Now, this is Alotra. This is where it is. And this is KEDGE Business School. It's barely 5 minutes from KEDGE Business School. And let me show you some pictures on Google. Yeah, this is how Alotra looks like. Okay. Now, I lived here. Now, the fun fact is there was no guarantor required for Alotra. There was no advance deposit required for Alotra. There was no cosigner required for Alotra. I actually landed in France and then paid my rent. Okay. But this was 2015, number one. Number two, this is Alotra and there was no booking fees. Now rules have changed. Okay. Of course, you need to have an accommodation before going to France. So that's number one you should do. Number two, regarding the booking fees, it depends on which accommodation you're booking. For example, if you book Taj New Delhi, it would be 20,000 rupees. And they would charge you they would ask for your credit card before you make a reservation. But if you book let's say, an Oyo in New Delhi, they would not ask you for a credit card. Or if you book a very decent hotel, let's say, I don't know which hotel, townhouse or anything of your choice in Noida, they would not ask for your credit card details. So it depends on which housing you are going for. Some housings would actually ask for a housing a booking fees. Some would ask for, yeah, this is how Alotra looks like. Some would ask for a guarantor. Some would not ask for a guarantor. So people who are going to Alotra, you are in good hands. People who are going to Marseille, you are in good hands. The good thing is going to Alotra does not require a guarantor. So you can actually book Alotra without a guarantor. Simply email housing team of Marseille that I want to book Alotra. And my recommendation to all the students who are going to Marseille, please book Alotra. Even if you hate Alotra, change it after 3 months. But at least for first 3 months, go to Alotra. It's a beautiful place, party place. You would always have students from 100 plus nationalities, Brazil, America, Germany. It's a very international place, plus very close to KEDGE. There's no point living downtown 20 kilometers from campus and taking a bus every day, which would take probably an hour to come, an hour to go back. So my recommendation to all of you who are going to Marseille, please book Alotra. There is no guarantor required. But it's an exception. 99.9% of the accommodations in France, they require a guarantor. Next question is from Amar, who says, can you guide me a bit regarding the housing certificate, and also how can I get access to recorded sessions because I missed last few webinars regarding housing due to some issues. Amar, regarding housing webinar, the link is with Bruna. So simply WhatsApp Bruna. So it actually stays with people who organize the webinar. So it was organized by Bruna. So simply text her. She will share the recording with you. Regarding housing certificate, it is attached in the visa letter of KEDGE, but to be honest, it's a waste because you cannot. It's a supporting document. You cannot apply for visa on the only on the basis of KEDGE housing certificate. Okay, it's not a waste. It's just a supplementary document, but you cannot apply for visa only on the basis of KEDGE housing certificate. As I said, you need a housing lease contract signed. If you have rent receipts, then that, and then finally another KEDGE housing certificate, which would have your address as well. Parag says there is also an accommodation question, but on rental a reliable site to book accommodation. Well, Parag, I have never heard of this website. You can simply email KEDGE Housing. If you're going to Bordeaux, email Logement Bordeaux. If you're going to Marseille, Logement Marseille or Logement Paris, and check how reliable is the website. If it is in webinar folder, if it is shared by KEDGE as in me or Bruna or somebody from KEDGE, then of course it's reliable. But if it is from any third party, not recommended. Jasmeet says, is it adjustable in my accommodation charges? Jasmeet, again, it depends on accommodation to accommodation. As I said, Alotra does not require any booking fees, right? Now, some accommodations would require it. So, and again, it's not adjusted. Booking fees is booking fees. Accommodation rent is something else. So they would charge you. If you don't want to pay accommodation fees, don't go with that accommodation. You still have time. Right now, you're in April. Find something which is cheaper, find something which is more affordable. And by the way, we recently did a webinar 2 days back with Deepak from supply chain, and he recommended an accommodation called Just Fac, right? Please go with that because Just Fac, as far as I know, was strongly recommended by Deepak. And most of the students who went to Bordeaux last year, sorry, 3 years back, they went for Just Fac. And it's very good. But again, it is a very personal choice wherever you want to live. Shikha says, sorry, my question is also related to guarantor. Guarantee is asking for two things like student with revenue or without revenue. I'm not understanding how to proceed. Without revenue is without salary, with revenue is with salary. So you would be obviously applying for without revenue. You don't have any income, you don't have any salary. Just mention you're a student. Try to get it from Visal as well. Visal is absolutely free. I have already shared the access with you. Let me just see, where is it? Yeah, this is Visal tutorial. So go to this visal.fr. Everything is in English. Click on tenants. Click on test my eligibility or click on apply for Visal. Click on I am a tenant. We create your account, enter your email, everything. Then create your account, activate your account. It will say welcome to Visal. Then it will say apply for visa. To answer your questions, account settings. Simply say to apply for visa and then enter basic details. How many signatories of the lease? Just enter one person because you are the only person going to live there. Enter your marital status. Enter your current residential address. Tax system, click no. Select validate. Are you eligible for visa? Enter all the information which is required here. Are you going for a work study program? Select no, right? It's it's completely in English. Even if it is not in English, you can simply go to this page on the top and just translate the page. So go to Google and just translate from here. Okay, even if you're not able to understand it. Then it will ask you all other details. Have you found the accommodation? Have you not found the accommodation? Blah blah blah. Click on validate. What is your maximum rent? Fill the form. It will ask you for ID card. Apply with your passport. Everything else. Then all other details, birth name, last name, place of birth, your full name, and confirm your visa application. It will give you a guarantor for absolutely free. But remember, it gives only to people who are between 18 to 30. If you're more than 30, it says Visal is a guarantor for your future accommodation if you're between 18 to 30. Again, this was 2, 3 years back. Check on their website if it is still 30 or 27. If you're under the age limit, you would be able to get accommodation guarantor absolutely free of cost. Even if you're not able to get it, let's say 10 people apply, 5 get it, 5 don't get it, and they are like, oh, I'm not so lucky, I have to pay. Don't worry. Go for stood apart. Okay. Especially if you're going to non Marseille city. If you're going to Marseille, simply book Alotra with closed eyes. Okay. Email Logement Marseille, mention I spoke with Prayag. Prayag stayed in Alotra. He recommended Alotra. We want to stay in Alotra. Okay. That is the best choice. You will thank me later. Even if you don't thank me, it's absolutely fine. But go for Alotra. If you're not going to Marseille, then simply book any accommodation that you like for first 3 months on stood apart. So you only pay the guarantor service for 3 months, and it should not be more than 100, 200 euros. And what is 200 euros? Around 15,000 rupees. It's fine. Even if you're getting a guarantor for 15,000 rupees, why would you, think so much, get in tension, and worry too much only for 15,000 rupees to find a guarantor? So somebody who is actually finding a guarantor and not finding a guarantor, or probably getting a guarantor for absolutely free, the difference is only 15,000 rupees. So don't worry too much. Okay, let's see if we have other questions. Yeah, Harsha says, could you please spell out or provide the link of housing in Bordeaux provided by Deepak? We have already shared the link of housing, sorry, the webinar recording with Deepak, so you can also check that. It's in the group. With the accommodation name is Just Fac. You cannot book it directly, by the way. Every accommodation that you need to book like this, you need to contact housing team, because if you book with housing team, it will be much better. Next question is, Rishi, is this session for Paris campus students as well? Rishi, this is for all students going to KEDGE, regardless of the campus. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Amrit, yes, you raised your hand.
Hi, Prag. Sorry, this is again regarding housing. But I spoke with Jahan. He says that in general, Studapart gives you much lesser CAF than any of the other student accommodations. Is that true?
Okay, so CAF is a housing subsidy. For those who don't know, this is up to 35% of your rent given by French government to your bank account. Say your rent is 1,000 euros, 350 euros would be given by French government to your bank accounts. You would have to apply for it, and it's a very simple process. We would do a session on that somewhere in June, July, August. But to answer your question, Amrit, it doesn't depend on stood apart. It depends on multiple factors. It depends on the accommodation, and it depends on the acceptance by the government. It doesn't depend on the provider. So provider cannot decide. For example, let's say if you're booking stood apart, and by the way, what is stood apart? Stood apart is not an accommodation. Stood apart is basically a Zomato or an Uber,
Like an
right?
aggregator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are, let's say there are 100 people. Let's say, Amrit, you have a hostel in Bordeaux, right? Let's say 10 years down the line, you are a landlord in Bordeaux. You make a house, you have 10 rooms and that, and you register your house with stood apart. That's stood apart, right? Now, so stood apart cannot make a decision for you because it is your house. So you would make the decision for yourself. Now, regarding CAF, you cannot make a decision because CAF depends on multiple reasons. Number one, how big is the room? What are the facilities you are providing in the room? What is the location of the room? Somebody who's living in city center would pay more rent, thus more CAF, right? Who's living very far, for example, Jahan is living quite far from the campus. Okay,
Yeah.
so his rent is slightly on the lower side. If you're living in the city center, your rent would be on the higher side. So it depends on multiple factors. But to answer your question, stood apart would not take a call on CAF. It depends on your
Okay.
accommodation and the services which are provided by the accommodation and acceptance by government of France. What you should do, everyone should do, is when you book accommodation, always check with your accommodation provider how much CAF will you get. For example, let's say if your rent is 600 euros in Bordeaux, check with your accommodation provider. So how much CAF would I get? Would it be 200, 300, 100? And then make a call if that is more than enough for you. Okay,
Okay. Thank you, Prayal.
no worries. Rishi says, what are the must-have housing documents for visa file? Rishi, I already explained. Lease, rent receipts. Nitya says, apologies, my question related to housing as well. Cruise would also require a guarantor. Yes, Nitya, cruise would require a guarantor, but cruise usually is okay with Visal, and Visal is absolutely free because Visal is government and cruise is also government accommodation. So you can do that. Just make sure people who are applying for cruise, always remember it cannot be applied by you. It has to be nominated by the school housing team. Number one. Number two, cruise is a government accommodation, so quite cheap, but also quite limited in number. So you need to apply as soon as possible. So if you're applying for cruise, email KEDGE housing team that you want to apply for cruise, and so they would keep your name in the waiting list. People, I'll give you a very simple example. Somebody who wants to apply for a cruise in the month of June, July, and August, they will never get it because cruise is full by then. So this is still the decent time. Email Catch Housing team that you would want to go for cruise accommodation. And for a stood apart, you can book it anytime, June, July, August, whenever you want. You don't need to worry about it. Just complete your Campus France. Remember, the visa applications open 1st of June. So you should have your housing sorted by 1st of June. So you guys still have 5, 6 weeks before your housing is sorted. So make sure your housing is sorted in the next 5, 6 weeks. And for Alotra, it's a no-brainer. For Marseille students, simply go to Alotra, book for 3 months, and then take a call. There's one more thing that all of you can do. You can actually go on stood apart and first of all see how many people are going with you. If you're traveling alone, if you're living alone, then obviously you can live wherever you want. But I'll give you an example. Last year there were, I think, no, sorry, four girls students from Bangalore, and they rented a 3 BHK in Marseille on stood apart, and they were sharing 3 BHK, and the rent was around 1500 euros. So they were each paying 500 euros a month. And that's a much better deal because you have a larger house, number one, you have a larger kitchenette, and you have multiple washrooms. So it's a much better proposition than a hostel. So but again, every accommodation would have its pros and cons. If you're living in a hostel, you're not missing on student life, you are not missing on student experience, you have friends from all across the globe. If you're living in a house, you're just living with your 2 3 roommates. So whatever you decide, just go for it. This was housing webinar. In coming weeks, we will also try to do some accommodation webinar. The official one, which was already done last week, we have 3 more sessions, one in each month. So there is one more housing webinar in May, one more in June, one more in July. So there are 3 more housing webinars coming up, but they would be exact replica telecast of what you actually saw. So what I would try to do is slightly different. I would get in some students in coming days, like Deepak, Jahan, or some other students, bring in their experiences of how they book the housing. And then, of course, you can try some other ways as well, apart from the ways which are recommended by KEDGE housing team. And we would also see other accommodation. I will also do some my personal recommendation sessions for you, and I'll try to book some accommodations for you. just the way I said we would be doing a VFS form filling session the first week of June. Similarly, so we have a lot of webinars coming up. Don't worry. We have a VFS form filling webinar. We have a travel insurance webinar. We have a flight booking webinar. We would have accommodation webinar in Marseille, Paris, and Bordeaux, all the accommodations. So don't worry, you would have enough time. Right now, what you should be doing is complete your campus trans process at the earliest and get that NOC, no objection certificate email. As soon as you have it, you're good to apply for VFS. And then the next step would be the housing, for which you already have 6 weeks to go. Okay, any final questions, anyone? Okay, so I don't see we have any questions. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. As I said, this session was recorded, so we are going to share the recording in the group. All of you would have access to it. And see you all in the group. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you, Prayak. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.